When I saw you at dinner at UFC 96, you were eating pasta. Is that like, I mean, is that part of your diet? Is that all right? Can you have that a couple times a week?
That's like one of my cheap things. Like,
Yeah.
Kenny and I kind of have the same affliction to certain foods. We both like pizza. I grew up making pizza my whole life. I do have, I do like the pastas. I hadn't had pasta all week.
Yep.
And then when you saw me, I was for the last time I ate was probably 8 o'clock that morning before I went to the expo. So I literally needed the calories.
So as long as you're careful with it. Eh? Oh, do you remember what I had?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember what I had?
You had the ahi tuna.
That's right. Good
which
choice.
was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
Congratulations, Robin, on an excellent food choice.
Yeah, thank you. You eat a lot of tuna and chicken breasts when you're training, man. It's like, it gets a little boring. But if Coach cooked for me, I'm sure it would be good. Kenny's probably got it good. Coach, it's great having you on the show, and you're a fun guy, and you know a lot of stuff, and you have great stories. And we'd love to have you on every month or so if you're game.
Sure, why not?
You know how to use Skype now.
Kenny, as far as Kenny liking my cooking, I want to go that far.
Yeah. Jonathan, anything else?
No, that's perfect. We're looking forward to seeing you in on the 22nd.
March 22nd,
March 22nd,
extremecouture.ca or crashmma.com. Come out and check out the coach, and you can watch Kenny and either train with Kenny and Coach Kearns or just be there and observe. Thanks, Coach.
Guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, so let's finish our conversation on UFC 96 real quick. We've got a couple of minutes left.
Sure.
All right, so did we talk about Brandon Vera yet?
No, we didn't.
No.
Man, he looked good, eh?
Okay, so I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I think it was last week. We were talking about how he was on Inside MMA. He was sitting 2 people away from Lyoto Machida. He admitted that he had been offered a fight with Machida, turned it down. He basically said he was partying like a rock star.
He was out of
After
shape.
doing really well, he got out of shape, lost a couple
And
fights.
he apologizes. Yeah.
He apologized to Machida and said, look, I know I was offered the fight. I'm sorry I had to turn it down, blah, blah, blah. That dude, man, I mean, he was demoted all the way down to second from bottom on the preliminary card.
From headlining.
Holy crap, did he light that up.
Wow.
He basically took apart Mike Pat.
Yeah, Mike, the dude's lucky to have a leg. He just kicked the crap out of his legs.
Yeah, it turns out he's not going to be able to run the marathon this way.
He's not walking today. I've seen guys take that kind of beating and they don't get up. Mark Holst, who's fighting in the W1 card at the end of this month in Gatineau, he fought in Winnipeg against Dave Zuniga, and it was a leg kick clinic Zuniga put on. Holst still won, and he said he didn't walk for days. All his camp said he could not walk to the plane the next day.
That's amazing.
He couldn't walk to the cab, to get in the cab, moving his leg. Like, it's that, people don't understand that. Forrest Griffin said, he'd rather get punched in the face than kicked in the leg any day. It's just brutal. You watch it on TV. People watch on television.
But that's what he did. That's what he did to Rampage.
To Rampage,
for 5 straight rounds.
Well, because he knows, right? But you watch Keith Jardine kick Rampage in the leg like that, or who are we talking about? Brandon Vera.
Oh, Brandon Vera was
smash him.
Oh man,
shin
so
on meat.
Legs.
Right?
He was just leg kicks
People
through the
have no
entire
idea
fight, and
how
it ended
brutal
really
that is.
fast. It was not that fast.
Second round.
Holy cow! The guy Mike Pat took a lot of beating because it was round number 2, 127.
Yeah, man. He for
And it
6
was
and a
TKO
half
to
minutes.
kicks. He couldn't get up.
Brutal. And
could not get up.
Anybody who's ever trained or fought looked at that and just felt the pain.
Oh,
People
sure.
see a guy's nose bloodied or eye black. It's brutal. That hurts, man. Your head hurts. But that kind of beating on, it's like a car accident. Mike Pat was in a car accident that night.
Yeah. And can I just say right now that Yves Levine may now be at a new level of low. I mean, the fans have got to be hating him.
No way, man. Yves Levine is the man.
No, he was up until Saturday.
Dude,
He's been doing a great job. Fight after fight after fight.
200,
and look what
300
happens, man.
brilliant reffing jobs later. He has
like,
one brain fart. I mean, come on.
Brain fart. He almost killed Pete Sell. Come on.
Pete Sell almost got killed. But it happens. Hey, man, it's a dangerous sport. It's a risky sport.
Yeah,
They're counting on these guys, but I mean, these guys are humans.
Yeah, but when Matt Brown is asking for the fight to be ended, okay?
Yeah.
And he's like, come on. And he's basically talking to the ref while Pete Sell's standing there knocked out, standing up.
Honestly,
and
he was looking at him going,
yeah,
going like this.
No. He did it a couple of times. I watched it. I watched the replay. He did it a couple of times where literally He was looking at Eve going, are we going to end this? Or
I'm here
when's
to
this
say, cut Yves Levine some slack. Anyone who doesn't know Yves Levine, he's one of the greatest refs going. He's a
I'm not
Quebec
disputing that. I'm just saying you're only as good as your last fight.
Come on.
Just like all fighters, you're only as good as your last fight.
Way,
and that dude, that was not a good fight.
It wasn't a good fight.
It was like
it was a terrible reffing job.
It was like Apocalypse Now reffing.
Yeah, it was a bad reffing job. And Pete Sell, man, did you hear him talking at the end?
Yeah. He was quite the comment.
Hominick was like, dude, take the mic away from that.
Well, they did pretty fast. I think a bunch of his guys just basically grabbed him and hauled him
hey,
away.
let's wander you over to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah, no, it happens. And
he's getting an MRI because of it now.
Yeah, for sure. He's getting a lot of letters. CAT, CT, he's getting all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But, I mean, that was a bad night for reffing. And I knew, even watching it, that everybody would be out crying about it because, that was the story of the night. There were great fights. Brandon Vera looked good. Maynard looked great.
What a great card.
Was the
and then
of the night.
The end, people end up talking about the reffing.
Yeah,
which is a disappointment because that's not what the UFC wants.
No.
That's not what the sport of MMA wants. And that's unfortunately that's what we're talking about right now.
It's a shame, and you know what that's going to open up over the next immediately couple months, a year, is there's going to be questions about how we ref that, how we protect the fighters, how we make it safe, how we make sure to protect these guys' livelihood and not take money out of their families' mouths, etc.
Right. Except I'd say generally the vast majority of the time that's never going to be an issue, and that isn't the issue. But when you see these situations come up, it forces conversation, and it forces people to relook at the sport and kind of go, is this the way it should be set up? Are the refs, in control enough to be able to...
stoppage.
And are they making the right decisions?
That early stoppage robbed Darren Riley of $20,000.
Yeah, right, and you see an early stoppage that is basically Grand Theft Auto, and then you see a late stoppage that is offensive and is hurting Pete Sell.
Yeah.
And when you've got a fighter complaining about it, that's a problem. So hopefully they can sort that shit out and make sure that it's much... Well,
we're going to be talking about
how do you get it much clearer? It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again and again and again.
This is going to come up with us and any other people who talk about it over and over the next year.
Right.
Next week.
Yes.
Josh Barnett.
Josh Barnett is confirmed for next week.
Yeah.
That is totally awesome.
Now we have some other interesting stuff. I somehow missed that he hates Kenny Florian.
Well, I don't know about hates, but it certainly looks like Kenny called him out.
I like Kenny
Kenny Florian's awesome, and
awesome.
Josh Barnett's awesome, but that's a difficult situation when you got a guy that Kenny calls him out and says, "Look, I thought you should have been doing better." And
he was
Josh
the commentator.
Like, what are you talking about?
He was the commentator. That's what commentators do.
Yeah.
I'm commentating at W1.
Right, which means you're going to be hated
by all the fighters. What, are guys going to want to kill me when I tell the truth?
Pretty much. They're all going to be dropping down to 135 to kick your ass.
Then I'm going to drop down to 110 and run.
Well, all right. Then we're going to see the anorexic Olympics of fighting, which is a whole other story.
Yeah.
So
but, that's Josh Barnett next week. It'll be great. And you know what? Kenny Florian, it was a real privilege to have him on our show.
And Coach Kearns.
Coach Kearns we're going to keep bringing back because that guy's gold.
Right.
That guy is gold. He's got all kinds of good insight. He's a fun guy. Told a great story tonight.
Absolutely. That was awesome. The double-ended dildo and strap-on stories.
Yeah.
That's the championship right there.
Absolutely.
He just got the gold medal.
If anybody has any questions for Josh Barnett, please join our Facebook group.
Right.
No Shit MMA and send some questions.
Right, or you can email us at noshitmma at hotmail.com. Wow. Or,
Hotmail.
I mean, we're right on high-tech Hotmail. Yeah. And so anyway, we've got to wrap it up because, again, we just won't shut up and we blather on.
It's your problem. Your fault.
Right, totally my fault. I'm such an ass because I've been talking so much.
It's you.
Right. So, and I continue.
Yeah.
So you've been watching No Shit MMA on thatchannel.com. This was a live broadcast, and that's why you can tell we've been talking too long and we're full of crap. And we had on today's show, we had our co-host Robin Black, and we had Kenny Florian, and we had Coach Kearns. Yeah. And next week we have Josh Barnett. And I will not shut up. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next week.